All right, I think a quick video here where I do a couple of power energy examples, and then I'm going to do another one in just a second here with some harder ones. So this is just some basic ones to get us started. How much energy does a 60 watt light bulb use when it's left on for 2 hours? How much energy would an LED bulb that's 4 watts use? So here we have our given. Let's just start with our normal bulb. Our power for the bulb is 60 watts. Remember, that means that we're using 60 joules in each second. That's what a watt means. And it's left on for 2 hours. So our time is 2 hours. But since this is built to work with seconds, I can't leave 2 hours alone. I have to convert it. So the way I convert things is I put in a fraction where I get rid of the thing I don't want, and then I introduce the thing I do want. And as long as this fraction is equal to 1, then by multiplying it, I'm not changing the size of anything. So in 1 hour, I have 60 times 60, or 3,600 seconds. So this fraction is equal to 1. So by putting in here, I'm not doing anything, I'm just multiplying by 1. But what I accomplish here is my 2 hours cancel out, and I'm left with my 2 number, but that in seconds instead of hours, which turns out to be 7,200. If my number in this fraction is on the top, I multiply, and if it had been on the bottom, I would have divided. Okay. So those are my given numbers converted to the units that I want to use. And so now I can figure out the thing I'm looking for here is energy. Power is equal to energy per unit time, or how much energy used per second. So I have a 60 watt bulb that I have left on for 7,200 seconds. To solve this equation, I can multiply both sides by 7,200. My energy works out to be 60 times 7,200. 432,000. And that number would be in joules, because remember that a watt was joules per second, so when we multiply out the seconds, we're left with just joules. All right, let's do the same problem, but this time for the LED. The only difference here is now the power is going to be 4 watts, and the time is equal to 2 hours, but again, we can convert that to 7,200 seconds. So, and energy is what I'm looking for. Power equals energy over time. So 4 watts energy divided by 7,200 seconds. And this time I'm going to make, multiplying both sides by 7,200 seconds to get energy on its own. 28,800 joules. So we can see, it's actually a little hard to see with these giant numbers, but the huge reduction in the amount of energy required if we use an LED bulb instead of our old incandescent light bulbs. But also we can see how we use a conversion, and we can figure out the difference between energy, how much total work is done by a circuit over a long period of time, versus power, the amount of energy that's used by a circuit in each individual second.